let's understand about cloud computing service delivery models. One of the very important concepts in cloud computing service delivery models. Lot of time this question is asked in interviews, right? So what are the cloud service delivery models? Basically, cloud is providing us a lot of services. When you log in into these platforms, right, you see there are a lot of services available, right? But they are categorized into different levels. Some of them are hardware related, some of them along with the hardware they support us the softwares, and some along with the software operating system they provide us the ready-made software available, application readily available, right? So some services, so that services have been categorized into three different standard categories. Okay, right? So the first one in this is infrastructure as service, the second one platform as a service, and third one software as a service. Okay, so cloud based services are computing resources provided over the internet, allowing users to run applications, store data, and access the IT services, right? So the type of services they are providing have been categorized into three different types: infrastructure as a service, platform, and software as a service. Let's see one by one. Infrastructure as a service, right? It's a cloud computing model in which virtualized computing resources such as server, storage, and networking are provided over the internet on rental basis. Okay, so only the infrastructure, only the hardware part is provided to you as a service. Installing the operating system, installing the software, writing code, everything is our task. Only if you are looking for some hardware related resources for on rental basis, then you can use these services, infrastructure as a service. You can go for IaaS services, right? So the cloud provider manages the physical infrastructure while we users control the operating system, applications, and the data. We have to take care of all those stuff. Only the infrastructure is managed by the provider, right? That is infrastructure as a service. What are the benefits with this, right? It is cost effective. You need not buy the physical infrastructure. Maybe you need only for few days, right? For the remaining days you need not run that. Okay, that is the benefit what we have with the infrastructure as service. It is cost effective. You are not going to use it for long time, you are going to use it for short time, right? That time you can use it. Okay, the next one is flexible hosting, right? Suitable for websites and applications. So you want only the infrastructure, you want to host some applications, right? That you can do it. Okay, flexible hosting. Then third one, reduced maintenance. You are not worried about the hardware part, you are not maintaining it, it is taken care by them. That is the benefit we get over the cloud, right? And then scalable, resources can be increased or decreased as and when we needed it. Okay, so these are few important benefits. What is the drawback here? Drawback is that security responsibility. They are giving us the hardware. Okay, we are storing our data in the storage, right? But we cannot blindly believe the provider. The security aspect we have to take care. Okay, they cannot provide a guarantee for the security because my data is stored in the hardware, my apps are installed there, my data is there with them, so I should take care of the security. That is not their task. And limited infrastructure control. You do not have the control over the infrastructure because it is managed by them, right? So this is about the infrastructure as a service. Some examples, IaaS providers are AWS, Microsoft, GCP, all these provide infrastructure as service facilities, right? So what they provide, what is the services they take care of? Compute, storage, and networking. These three facilities come under infrastructure as service. Something like virtual machines, servers, CPU, RAM, storage, block storage, object storage, file storage, and then firewall, load balancers, and virtual networks. All these things come under IaaS. So these are provided by the cloud provider. Remaining all you have to take care of, right? So these are three main components of IaaS. The next one is platform as a service. In this, what happens? Along with the hardware, right? Along with the hardware, the operating system, okay, it is also taken care by them, right? Let's see. So platform as a service is a cloud model that provides developers with a ready to use platform for building, testing, and deploying the application. See, the OS is installed, the required software is also installed for you. Your job is to just start writing the code. That's what you can do in platform as a service. Let's say you want some Java infrastructure setup, Java environment you want to set up, that can be provided ready-made for you. Your job is to just write the code and develop the applications, right? So it provides with a ready to use platform for building, testing, deploying applications without worrying about underlying hardware, OS and infrastructure, right? The service provider manages servers, storage, runtime environment, everything, allowing developers to focus only on the application logic. We need to focus only on the application, that is the code part. Software also installed by them, right? What are the benefits here? No infrastructure management. You need not worry about the infrastructure. Cost effective, pay only for the resources you used. Okay, full life cycle support, helps in building, testing and deploying and the updating applications. That support is taken care by the provider, because maybe you are using Java 17 and you want to update to Java 25, right? That will be done by the provider himself, itself. We need not worry about the updation of the softwares, right? Higher efficiency, it reduces development complexity and time. Since the operating system or the environment what they are providing is highly efficient, our application also will be very fast. Okay, so these are few benefits. Again, drawback here, limited infrastructure control, you cannot customize anything there, and provider dependency, you are fully dependent on the provider, the software, the framework, the version, everything they are providing, right? So the application which you are building on this service, see, using PaaS, you are right, you are building some application. The performance of the application is dependent on the type of service they are providing. So the availability and the reliability of your application depends on the vendor, right? So this is about the platform as a service. Then we have the popular providers, AWS, Elastic, Beanstalk, Google App Engine, Azure App Services, all these are platform as a service. You can start writing code here, they are ready made, providing us the services. And what are the key components here? Runtime environment, middleware, OS and development tools and frameworks, all that they will be setting up for us. Operating system, middleware, the runtime environment, the tools, maybe VS Code, all that environments, that setup is given by the provider itself. We need not worry about the these details. Let's see about the next service, that is software as a service. The final one, software as a service, right? So here in this what happens, even the application is also built. We are just the users. We can use this application or that business, and we can get the output whatever we are expecting, right? So it's a cloud computing model in which software applications are delivered over the internet and accessed through a web browser, eliminating the need of local installation, maintenance or updates, right? So Google Doc is the best example, Google Sheet is the example. You are not installing the Microsoft package in your machine, right? You are not installing the Word document, it is ready made, available for us. You just have to use it, take its enjoy its benefits, right? Everything is done by the cloud provider, right? The service provider manages the application, infrastructure and security, while the users pay on the usage. We only use the services and pay for that. What are the benefits of this? It is cost effective, very cheap, and we pay only for what we use. Quick deployment, we need not do any installation or configuration, nothing is required from our end, right? High accessibility, it can be accessed anywhere in the internet. Google Doc can be accessed from your mobile, laptop, wherever you are, right? Automatic updates, without our knowledge, the software is updated in the backend. That is done by the provider himself, right? And scalable, resources and features can be adjusted on demand. So when the load is increasing, when many people are using Google Doc, that services are taken care by the Google. We do not worry, right? Drawbacks here is limited customization. You cannot add a new feature for that application. You do not have the control, right? And internet dependency, definitely we need internet. Without internet, we cannot use these services, right? So this is about software as a service, and I think yes, Google Doc is the best example. It's a SaaS application where users can create, edit documents online without installing, while Google handles the storage and the updates. Other example could be Zoom, Canva, all those are software as a service, right? So the key component here involves applications, data and the APIs. So these things are the key components of SaaS, meaning these things we have to take care of, or these things are provided by the cloud provider. All these things are provided by the cloud provider. Okay, so a little comparison. So we will be always comparing this with the on-site, means on-premise. Okay, on-premise, right? So what is this on-premise, right? So in my infrastructure, in my office, if I set up, I have my own private cloud, then I have to take care of all these things, right? So this is about on-site setup. Generally some top companies, they have their own setup which they take care of everything, right? And infrastructure as a service, the networking, storage, servers and virtualization, everything is taken care by them, right? These four components are taken care by the provider in the IaaS, whereas OS, middleware, runtime, data and applications, I have to take care, right? Whereas platform as a service, even the middleware, OS and the runtime, they are providing it. Okay, we have to only focus on application and the data. You have to build the application, you have to worry about the storage of the data. Whereas in SaaS, you are just the end users. They are making a ready-made software applications ready for us. We need not worry about anything. Even the application is designed by them, the data is stored by them, they are taking care of everything, right? So this is the comparison of these three, IaaS, PaaS and SaaS. Very, very important question. Even in interviews, they are asking you about these platforms and give some examples of each of these platforms, right? Whereas on-premise or on-site, we take care of everything. Okay, in other perspective of differences in understanding these three, right? So it is, SaaS is used for cloud computing software development. Okay, if you are building some other software, you can use these SaaS applications. Whereas PaaS, for application development, we use this PaaS. Whereas IaaS, for any cloud computing development, if you are designing something similar to cloud, you may go for IaaS. So type of users, SaaS, anyone can use like us. PaaS is mostly used by developers and IaaS by network architects, because networking facilities are provided by the cloud. Okay, then access, we can access it any software that we want to use, right? It provides only the necessary tools for development in PaaS. In IaaS, you can store data and also use virtual machines, right? So what is the technical knowledge you should have to use SaaS? You need not know anything. You need not be a technical expert. Whereas here you should know some knowledge about designing the applications. You need to have good knowledge about designing the applications. Whereas IaaS, you should have excellent technical knowledge. Only then you can, because you are beginning it from installing the operating system, you should know from the basics. Only then we can do that, right? Popularity, again, this is a simple thing. It is popular. All these three are very popular, but basically SaaS is more widely used because we are least worried about anything. We just use it and get our task done, right? So cost wise, this is very high, this is medium, and this is very, very cheap. Okay, SaaS is very cheap, whereas IaaS is highly cost because they are providing the hardware facility to us, right? Along with these, there are few other types of services. Though NIST standard says only we have three types of service delivery models, along with that some along with a lot of research, these new things have emerged, right? What are these new things which have emerged? Okay, so it is this is anyhow on-premise. We know about IaaS, we know about PaaS and SaaS. New thing is container as a service and also function as a service. Okay, what is container as a service? In container, if you see the difference between PaaS and CaaS, right? The runtime is not provided. OS is provided, only the runtime is not provided. Okay, so we already talked about Docker containers, right? Container, we are packing up everything. We are setting up the runtime environment, the runtime dependencies. Also the code we are combining, bundling them and putting as a box, as a container, right? So OS is taken care, but the runtime and the code, everything we are taking care. in container as a service, right? In function as a service, along with the runtime, see, scaling, this is taken care by the cloud provider. Scaling part is taken care by the cloud provider. Only the application code and data we have to focus on, right? Function as a service, this is we talk about serverless computing, right? So function as a service comes under serverless computing. Okay, there is another one, backend as a service, which will be seeing in the another module where we talk about the recent emerging trends in cloud computing. There will talk much about function as a service and backend as a service, right? So like this, with research there are a lot of other delivery models, but NIST standard there are only 3, that is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service, right? So this is about different cloud service delivery models. Okay.